Hi, I'm Sophia, and I like to crochet, and here I'm going to show you how to increase and decrease your half double crochet stitches. Now, the beautiful thing about increasing any stitch in crochet is that all you have to do is add a stitch. You can add it at the beginning of the row, you can add it at the end of the row, but all you do is you put 2 stitches where you would normally do 1, and that's it. In my example, I am putting an extra stitch at the beginning and an extra stitch at the end. So I don't know if you already knew this, but for a half double crochet, you can actually decide whether or not you want to chain 1 or chain 2 for your turning chain. I usually chain 1 because I think it makes for a straighter edge, but you can also chain 2. If you chain 2, you can also skip the very first stitch like you would in a double crochet and work into the second stitch. But when you do that, you have to work into the turning chain. So I try to work into the first stitch whenever I can, because I don't like working into turning chains. But that's what it looks like. And now we're going to decrease, and that's another reason I decided to chain 2. So because I've been working into the first stitch, in order to skip the fancy decrease stitch, I can just skip the first stitch, and that is considered a decrease. Now at the end here, I'm going to start the half double crochet, but instead of finishing it, I'm going to insert my hook into the last stitch there, pull up another loop right there, and then I'm going to pull the yarn through all the loops on my hook. And that is how you do a proper decrease stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2 again, turn my work, skip the first stitch, which is again considered a decrease, and work my way across until the last 2 stitches. And then I'm going to again get started on a half double crochet, but instead of finishing it right there, don't finish, work into the next one and pull up a loop and then finish it. And that's how you do the increase and the decrease of the half double crochet. I'm going to make a couple more regular rows, and that's really just to show you that even though I didn't do a proper decrease at the beginning of the rows and just skipped a stitch, there is no gap. You can't tell. And that's because I chained 2, and the chain 2 just made the transition between the rows very smooth. The other thing that I'm going to harp on probably on every video is make sure you count the stitches in your rows. It's the first thing beginners like to skip, and it is the one thing that more advanced crocheters harp on or troubleshoot if there's a problem. So that's it. Happy hooking!